everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby, if you didn't know that. And today's video is going to be all the books that I read in January and February. I posted my favorite books of 2025 in a month ago. And in that one I was like, oh, I want to read more in 2026 because college low-key made me stop reading first quarter. But second quarter was better. Second quarter is almost over. It's over in a couple weeks. But I've read 6 books in January and February. Not as much as I'd like, but better than nothing. Hopefully I read more this month, but we'll see. Also, ignore my hair for this video. I'm in the process of doing it. There will be a video on it. But it's a little yellow, so just ignore that for now if you can. I hope you enjoyed the video, so I'm gonna start talking about the books I read. So first, I'm gonna talk about my 2 rereads. I actually don't have physical copies of them, but they're in the Throne of Glass series. I only have Assassin's Blade, Tower of Dawn, and then Kingdom of Ash in the series. But I reread Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire, which are 2 and 3, if you're not including Assassin's Blade, I think. So good, 10 out of 10. I love Throne of Glass, and I was just in a fantasy mood. So I think in the end of December, I had read Throne of Glass, and I just was keeping up with it. So I gave both Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire 4 stars the first time I read it, and I would say the second time I read it as well. Or read them as well. I like the first 2 books, and I love the Assassin's Blade because it's, I don't know, I feel like it's necessary to read. I didn't reread it though, but the first 2 books are probably my least favorite in the whole series. It doesn't mean they're not good, but they're still very much building up what's gonna happen for the whole series. So Heir of Fire is when it starts to get really good in my opinion. Just all my favorite characters are being introduced, and we're just getting closer to what's actually going on. The first book is just the competition, and then you're oh, at the end, and then the second book is expanding on that. But Heir of Fire, skip to this if you haven't read it, but that's when Rowan comes in, and I love Rowan. He's not my favorite man, but I love Rowan and Aelin. I love reading about it. It's so funny when they're not together too. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. When they're when they hate each other, it's so funny to read. But also seeing them learn to trust each other. I love it. But I definitely think you should read the Throne of Glass series and at least get through the first couple of books and the prequel to Heir of Fire, because that's when it starts getting really good. Okay, the next book I also don't have. I read it on my phone, but it's Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I'm a big Emily Henry fan. I feel a lot of her books, though, they were a little sad for me. They kind of just had this overbearing sad presence throughout the whole thing. And I always enjoy them, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for that. But I did pick up Great Big Beautiful Life, which is about 2 journalists who are vying, competing to cover this woman who has been in hiding. Not in hiding, but she's been private for the past 40 years or something. And it's this once in a lifetime opportunity. They both want to write their book about her. And I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. And for a cute little rom-com or romance novel, I think it's really good. I really like the journalist plot. If there's a journalist, I'm gonna read it. I really hope you can't hear me. I'm talking really loud. Basically, they go to this little island to get to know her, and they're competing against each other, and they each have their own days, but then they also keep bumping into each other. And it's so good. There's a big plot twist in the end. I did not see it coming. I probably should have. I feel maybe you could have seen it coming. I did it right before it was gonna happen, but the entire time I was okay. Did not know. But I definitely think you should read this, especially if you're an Emily Henry fan or a romance novel fan. This is a good one. This is very lighthearted. There's a couple sad things. Like I said, a lot of her books are really sad. But this one, it wasn't like super sad. Like, it was life. But I didn't feel like heartbroken the whole time. Yeah, so definitely read that one if you like romance novels and Emily Henry, or one or the other. Okay, the next book I read, oh my gosh, I finally picked up Boys of Tommen. Oh my gosh, I read this book in like 2 days, like over the weekend. So good, like so good. Oh my gosh, I've like heard for years, you should read Boys of Tommen. Boys of Tommen is so good. It's my favorite series. It's my comfort series, even though it's not comforting. So good. It's about Shannon, who lives in an abusive household, and it's also about a few other characters. Like, it's like kind of like one or two books. It's about a different like couple. This one is Shannon and Johnny. Binding 13. It's like very rugby centered, as well as it's set in Ireland in like 2005, which is very fun. I'm a big fan of it. I think it was very good. I think a couple of the parts are like really cheesy, but again, set in 2005, high schoolers, they're gonna be cheesy, they're gonna be cringy, and it's okay. But I think it's a very good book. It's very big on found family. That's one thing I always heard, and I do agree with that. It shows you that even though you may not have the best support system at home, there are people who care about you, and they will be willing to help you with a lot of things, if not like anything. I gave this one 4 stars. I think you should read it. I'm on the second one right now because I had to take a little break because I didn't have it, so I'm currently reading the second one, but I will get back to you when I'm done with that. Also, pause. Reading vlogs. I love reading vlogs. I love watching reading vlogs. I love reading challenges. Comment down below if you think I should do a reading vlog for like maybe the rest of the Boys of Tommen series, or a different series, or like a reading challenge. Like, I know in the past I've done reading fantasy for a week or like 2 weeks or something. Tell me if I should do that again in the comments. And you should comment anyways, because that helps a lot. The next book I read was Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. I am a big Lynn Painter fan. Love her, love all her books. I've read all her books. This was not one of my favorite books of hers. It was not very good to me. When I'm like a diehard, like better than the movies, nothing like the movies fan, I think about it pretty often. All of her other books too, I have them, I've read them, they're amazing. But this one just did not like it was okay. I don't know, it just felt so like I've seen this before. And I know there's only so much you can do with a romance novel, especially when you're like a young adult romance novel writer. But her other ones were just way better to me. Or I don't know, I don't want to be mean about it, but like, it just was not my favorite. But I think it's like a good plot, like hockey. I love a hockey and romance novel. I love a lot of this stuff. It was fake dating again though, which felt like better than the movies. It felt like it was reused. So, not my favorite. So I gave that one 3 stars. I don't know if I said that, but moving on. The last book I read was Sunrise on the Reaping. The new Hunger Games. I finally got around to it. I've had this book since it came out. It has been sitting on my shelf since it came out, and I figured why not read it now because the movie's coming out soon. But picked it up. It was a little slow, can't lie. Very slow and like I don't know, it was like good slow. But it just felt like it took me a little while to read, but it also might have only been like 6 days or 5 days, which still isn't that much time. But if you don't know the Hunger Games, I'm sure you know the Hunger Games, but this one's the newest book in the Hunger Games series. It is also like a prequel of the actual series. It's Haymitch's book, and Haymitch is Katniss's mentor in the first Hunger Games that she's in. So he's mentor because he has won the Hunger Games previously, and this is his story, how he got in the Hunger Games, what happened in his Hunger Games, what happened after his Hunger Games. Did not know Haymitch was such a rebel. It's so sad, oh my gosh. Like, every single person I saw was like, this is so sad. And then the entire time I was like, this is sad, this is a Hunger Games book, but I'm not seeing where this extreme sadness is coming from that everyone's talking about. And then I got to like the last 20-30 pages. I was like, oh my god, you're joking. So sad, like genuinely so sad. This book, I feel like it's also the most like impressionable of all the Hunger Games. Like, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like the goriest. It's gonna make the biggest impression in a movie, I feel like, because it's also, we're in such we're in a very political like world right now. Everything is political. Reading is political, the way we dress is political. Like, so many different things are happening in our world, especially as like in America, and like, I don't know, but this book just speaks a lot on like rebel movements, like standing up to people in power when you believe they're wrong, having the ability to stand up to people in power, like having that freedom instead of being like killed for it. So it's like a very important book, especially right now. But yeah, so that was the last book I read in January and February. Hopefully I can read more in March and April because spring break and my next quarter is gonna be way later. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in a couple days, hopefully with my hair video. Yeah, hopefully my hair is fixed. It doesn't look that bad in this lighting, but there's a couple things I need to fix. Do you see that? I need to fix that. It smells like bleach. But anyways, yeah, see you in a couple days.